Alright, how's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be working on brown, and this is part of the 5 Parsecs from Home series. And I'm starting out with a commander for my Cadians, basically. And this model's been kicking around. This is a pewter model, or metal model. And this model right here, back in the day, this was like a super badass model. And it's still nice, it's still well detailed. It's good enough for me, because it's like I grew up in this era, or at least I started gaming in this era, and so I love this model. And this model itself, by itself, would, you know, is worthy of an entire video series of me just painting this one guy. But we ain't got no time for that. We got time to just put some stuff on him, because I got 1, 2, 3, I got 4 armies, 4 squads I'm trying to paint. So we're going to start this guy, and we're going to do some brown. And instead of just doing the same dude over and over on the video, I'm going to do one of each guy, so you can just kind of see what each one looks like. Oh man, this guy is not glued to his base. Oh well, what are you going to do? So what I've got today is I've got some folk art burnt umber. Right here is what I'm using, and this stuff is, you can see by the label, I've had it for a minute or two. And it came out pretty chunky, kind of looked like a dog turd. So I used the back end of my brush and whipped it up, you know, until I got a better consistency. And it's very poop brown, but this is just the first coat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of his cloth elements and leather elements here, and I gotta get way deep underneath his skirt, because apparently my spray primer didn't get back in there, so I'm gonna get behind there. And I'm not really watering this down a whole lot. I gotta get underneath that pack. I didn't paint those packs brown. I painted them red just to have a little bit of variety, because like all packs are pretty much brown. And this guy's a commander. You know, he had his mom buy him the upgraded ammo packs before he left. So he's gonna get some fancy stuff. And this is like a brown cloak. Ah, he's falling out of his base. I'll glue him on a little bit later. Okay, and his whole chest and his shoulders are gonna be green, and I'm kind of going with a like a Aliens 2 kind of green color. Let me set him down. Can you see that? No, you can kind of see that. My big fat hand is in the way, but I mean, there's no other way to get the camera like over my shoulder, or I can't suspend it where my head is. It's difficult to paint in front of the camera, if you know what I mean. And so we're gonna go over this guy right there. I'm gonna give me a little water here, so this will flow a little better. Get his glove there. Get this, it's kind of like a wrist guard, and it's got buckles and stuff on it. And if you really wanted to, you could get in here and get the buckles all silver or gold or something, and do a bunch of crazy stuff. But I'm just gonna... And he's holding a grenade or something along that line. My eyes have gotten so bad, I don't know what the hell he's holding anymore. Alright. That is almost good. I'm gonna get him some brown hair here. You guys can still see that. Now this guy did not have his face done. He's kind of wearing a gas mask of some sort. So I'm not sure how much of his face is really exposed, to be perfectly honest. So as far as the campaign is going on, 5 Parsecs from Home, my character base, my player characters are a little weaker than they were, but not that weak. They're still, you know, got a bunch of experience, and they played a melee opponents, so they were melee only. And I ran into an issue in the fact that under the rules, I'm painting and talking at the same time, so you guys gotta work with me here. Under the rules is if you are within 6 inches, then you get a bonus to your shooting, so you only need a 3-up to hit. Now, playing a solo game as a GM, you know, you're playing against people who want to win and they don't want to lose, of course, right? But for narrative's sake, if you have a melee character with 5 inches of movement, he will never, and I mean never, get into melee combat. Because what's going to happen is here's a ute, is I have 5 inches of movement. Well, if you need 4 inches and you cannot rush into melee combat, you cannot use a bonus movement to get into melee combat. And I get that, you know. But if you're a melee only character and your movement is 5, they'll make sure just to stay 6 inches away. So like even if you move your full 5 inches, they're still 1 inch away. And you cannot get into combat, so you lose your combat round. You cannot attack. And then their next turn, they only have to move 5 inches away from you and pop you in the face. And then your next round, you're going to move up 5 inches again, and it's over and over. So all they have to do is make sure that all of their characters are at least 6 inches away from you. They get the bonus. They only have to roll 3s. You can never get to them. So you can't rush past them, you know. I mean, you could, but get 3 inches away, and they'll just, like, say you move past them, you move your 5 inches and 7 inches, and you get like only 3 or 4 inches away from them. Well, now all they have to do is move twice to get away from you again. So even if you rush them 2 inches, they just have to rush away from you 2 inches and start the process all over again. And it's, I mean, dude, it is frustrating. And how do you counter that, you know? There's nothing in the rules that counters that. But I have 2 options. There's my ute. And he's pretty much complete with his first coat. You know, there's nothing else I need. Everything on him, there's no primer left on this dude. Everything is ready to rock. So now I can get started on his secondary colors and washes and dry brush. I just got to do this spear tip with some silver, his gun with some silver. Give him a little, maybe a little dry brush. But man, now he's, compared to what he did look like, they're starting to get looking good. So what's my last guy? So I've come up with a solution, and it's an okay, decent solution. These guys don't really need brown. They got green, and they got tan, and this brown is darker. So I'm not going to do these guys. But oh, you know what? I got a couple guys that have bases, and I'm going to do the bases. But I'm going to switch my brush out here. I got this brush here. I'm going to do their base. The ones that have texturized bases, I'm going to go ahead and do with this brown. I'm going to use a dry brush. You can go one of two ways. You can either allow for characters to rush into combat, but if I do that, then everybody gets to rush into combat, right? Or my second option is to just increase my speed. And I mean, some of the guys that are in my campaign, they listen to these broadcasts, and so they're like, when they get to the game night, they freaking tattletale on me, and they're like, "Oh man, I watched this video, and he says he's gonna do this," and then it's like, "Oh really? Well, we're gonna come up with something." So, and it's not as combative as it sounds. I'm just over here bitching and whining about my woes being a game master. But that's part of the fun of being a game master, is you have to, like, you get a different set of challenges than the players, and then you have to overcome those challenges as well. But yeah, they go and tattletale on me. You know who you are out there in the audience. But I'm just gonna get these bases done, and then I'm gonna do green after this, and I'll probably upload the brown and the green videos at the same time. I think I did green already, because these guys are painted green. We'll do another green video. And that's my base right there. And that's the end of this video, and I'll see you guys next time.